Everybody. Oh, whoops. Let me try that again. Hey, everybody. All right. Welcome to the wild side. Hey, Craig. God bless Texas. Welcome. I'm in my beautiful cabin on the way to being beautiful. At least this wall is beautiful, and well, that wall ain't so beautiful, but this one is. Yabo. Yabo is a Zulu word. Yeah. So it's in progress, and it's making good progress. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Let's see. I'm also making coffee because I'm inspired. It was motivating going to Arizona. It was motivating being around other people who think like me, but a lot of them being less lazy. All right. Whoops. Let's see. So, I got coffee and bacon going. Ain't nothing better than coffee and bacon. All right, let's see. Hey, good morning, Jennifer and Royce. Yes, thank you. And guys, I'm sorry that everybody, I said I was going to do a live video. I made a mistake. I was taking my car, my little Corolla, which I love. I got 38 miles per gallon in that bad boy. And I just kept thinking that I needed to save space so that me and the two dogs could sleep in it. And I've done that before, so I thought I knew what I was doing, but turns out I had way more space, and I could have taken my Starlink and my camera, and I regret not doing that. So it was a mistake. I would have had to take the camera, would have been easy, and I should have taken that. The Starlink was more involved because to use it, I would have had to turn on my car, or I would have had to bring a battery, solar battery. And if I bring a solar battery, then I got to bring a panel, and then a solar panel would have taken a lot of room. That would have been a hassle. So I don't know. I'm just glad I got 38 miles per gallon and had a good time. It's actually comfortable sleeping in that front seat, believe it or not. I got a good night's sleep. I got home. I was well rested. Even though I slept in my car, I slept on the ground. So anyway, glad to be back. Glad I went. And like I said, I was motivated. So I set up my camp. My camp's outside. We can go take a look at it. I ordered some stuff. That's why I set up my camp, was to figure out what things I need. One of which being an actual tin coffee pot, because this is stainless steel. Hey, Bill. Foul mouth teacher. Hey, man. Another Texan, folks. And there we go. Oh, shoot, I forgot to stir it up. All right, let's see. There's my good old wood stove. There's my coffee pot. That's stainless steel, so I ordered a tin one from a guy who made my cup. My cup's outside. And got some bacon going. Got more boiling water just because I can. That's the benefit of a wood stove. And so anyway, so yeah, pretty excited about things. Like I say, still remodeling the cabin. I put a door on. It makes all the difference. Duh. All you people are thinking, well, of course it makes a difference. Well, it makes such a difference that it's actually hot. I'm remembering, oh yeah, it's hard to stay warm. Because folks, I don't have any insulation on the roof yet. I just got tarps out there waiting until I build the roof. And so there's no insulation on the roof. And yet with this door closed, that that doesn't even cover the whole opening. It's got a gap up top. And yet it's too hot to too hot to hang out. I had to open the door. So that's the benefit of minimal living. I added that addition because what the heck, it's so hard to stay cool in here. I got plenty of the heat. I can expand it, and it's still hot. So I might buy a diesel heater this year. I'm doing a kind of a combination of modern living in that I got lighting. That's why it's so nicely lit. I'm putting in a TV. I took it out for something. I forgot why. And I got lighting, and that way I can endure the winter more. Yeah, so remodel-wise, I also need a floor, but this one ain't too bad. Well, right there it's bad, but anyway, this ain't bad. It's way better than it was before. I had these oak boards on the floor, but they didn't line up tight, so it wasn't a pleasant setting. So anyway, oh, Craig says, in the movie, does your woman actor have authentic clothes? She will, once she tells me her size, and then I order it. The question for the woman character is, would she wear a bustle? I asked one of the gals. I don't know much about women's clothing, obviously, but I asked one of the gals in Tombstone, and that is quite knowledgeable. And she told me that she needed to look into it because there was a possibility that she wouldn't be wearing a bustle. I had initially, I had thought that I would just give the character one, just to err on the safe side. But that was back when I was making it 60s and not what I'm doing now, late 70s. Anybody watch Community? I did a Community reference. All right, I felt like cowboy coffee in my stainless steel coffee pot. Oh yeah. Oh shoot. I forgot. Gotta add cold water. That makes the grounds drop to the bottom. Because I didn't show you, but that first little bit that I poured in was full of coffee grounds. So let's see how it works now. Looks like coffee and not coffee grounds. We'll see. There's multiple techniques and tricks. Some people, if you got the pot with a handle, they swing it around. I've done that too, but I don't do it enough to really compare it and know. All right. So I'm excited now that it's cooling off. I can keep the fire going all day long, which means I can cook all day long, keep food on the stove. And I got some waffle mix. I got a cast iron waffle maker that I found at a thrift store. Those waffle makers sell for like $100. I got it for 10 or 15. Dang, there's still a lot of coffee grounds. Yeah, so I'm excited about that waffle maker. I'll probably mix in some. I made some last night, just like pancakes in my little pan, and it was good. But you know, it's just white flour, and so I'm gonna try adding in some whole wheat flour because normally I just use whole wheat, but for a treat, it's nice to have that cheap white flour. Yes, I do enjoy questions about my movie. I've dreamed up another one that I want to do, but I mean, we're talking 5 minutes because I got to practice. I need to use my camera, practice with it, and get used to shots and learning what shots and music I can add to create the intensity that I'm looking for or the lack of intensity or whatever emotion I'm trying to convey. So I got another one dreamed up. We'll see if I do it. How's the coffee? It's okay. All right. Well, it's been raining. So, fortunately, no leaks. Oh, and also I've been going after flies, and, well, believe it or not, that thing worked. I don't know why I didn't just do that in the first place. I've used them in the past. Oh, yeah, and I got my, I already got my Christmas decorations set up. Oh, yes. Oh, hey, Benjamin Harris. Yeah. Good morning. Glad you made it. I got this killer bacon. It was, cheap because it was pieces, so it's not like strips, but it was also mostly meat, not fat. Usually you cook that much bacon, there's a ton of fat floating around in it. This one has none. I'll tell you what, guys, this is going to come across as blasphemy, but there's something better than bacon. I once got on to frying ham. Fried ham, put a bunch of salt and pepper on it. It was incredible. Maddie likes the cold. It was freezing last night. Literally froze. We don't have a lot of frosty nights, so that's the first we're getting. And so I actually got to test the cold. So I'm back to my redneck roots lately. My truck is broke down. My van's broke down. Oh, while I'm at it, that trailer is broke down. Just a redneck, bunch of broke down vehicles. But my car runs and my motorcycle runs, if I have to. If I didn't have my dogs, I was thinking I would have rode my motorcycle down to Tombstone. I like the idea of making like the trip down there a little bit more like a historical experience. Benjamin Harris says, I got a question. What kind of tarps do you use when cowboy camping? Well, funny you would ask. Bam, right there. This is my camp. When I first moved onto this property, I first lived in the woods way up there, but when the wind was blowing, I was afraid the trees were going to fall on me. So I moved out here where I was in no proximity of trees, except now these trees have grown up. Believe it or not, they were only, well, they were probably about half that tall, but they're at an angle where if they got blown over, they would miss my camp. So anyway, this has been a camp that I've used off and on since I bought the place. And these are my tarps. They're not historical tarps because they're treated. So I always like to admit that. I don't like anybody to think I'm doing something I'm not doing. These are treated. They're called Sunforge or Canvas. I bought them by the yard and then had a upholsterer sew them up for me. And I've never done this before. Put this stick down the center, but it works because the problem is it drapes so much. It's fine for sleeping, but for sitting by the fire, hit your head on it. So I've got all my stuff here, like I said, so I can get organized, figure out what I need for history, and then start packing it up on my horses and getting my packing going. That's soapy water, in case you're wondering why the heck that looks so weird, because I got to clean that one. Bought some brushes to go on my drill when I was at Harbor Freight. So anyway, this is my cooking stuff, my bedding, my clothes. I got a saddle down there, fire starter, and my beloved boots. Love those boots. I came back from Tombstone this close to start dressing historically all the time. Just get rid of all my modern clothes and go historical. I don't know. The problem with that is I paid like 15, 30. Well, these I think I bought new, but they're like 5 years old. Whoops. The jeans, the boots I paid $50 for because I got them used, or 40, I don't remember. So in other words, this whole outfit is under $100, and it's lasted me years. Whereas if I started dressing historically, I'd have to probably buy 2 pairs of trousers a year and a shirt a year at least. And then the boots are really expensive. And if you don't buy the expensive ones, they're super uncomfortable. So I don't know. It'd be fun, but I don't know if I want to do that. But I'm tempted to. And let's see. While we're out here, so the grass is green and growing. See all this right out here in the driveway area? Which means there it's green out there. Which means that I don't have to feed the horses. I didn't irrigate my property this year, so it got pretty dry and the green grass was sparse. So I started feeding the horses alfalfa at night, because if I don't, then they get tempted to bust through the electric wire and go look for greener pastures. But now that it's green, I didn't pin them up last night. I usually pin them up at night, so I got them in the morning to work with them, but now they're just running wild. They didn't even come back. Usually they come back because they want their grain, but they didn't. So that's life out here. Nice and wet. Our hunting season, my hunting season that I would have done but I didn't do, was about 3 weeks ago. It started at the beginning of October. But when it's like this, weather like this is when I want to go hunting. I like to be hunting and fishing in this weather. But my season is long over. There's a modern rifle. I like to do the muzzleloader, not only because of the historical aspect, but because of the there's far less people. Like when I go hunting, in the past, I'm pretty much the only guy in the area, in the areas I'd go, and I wouldn't even see other people. But man, if I go out now, like if I went out to ride my horses or hunt, there'd be orange dots everywhere with rifles that can shoot 600 or 700 yards with full effectiveness. And I just prefer to avoid that. If you haven't noticed, I kind of like avoiding people. In big numbers, anyway. I enjoy being around some people. Benjamin Harris, awesome. Thanks for showing your setup. Just ordered a cheap 10x10. Planning on experiment sleeping under it in the backyard this next weekend. Awesome. Sweet. You can treat it. If it's a cheap one, I've heard people saying that they boil it. I tried boiling mine. It's hard to boil a 10x10 tarp, but if you got something you can boil it in, I've heard that tightens up the fibers, or the weave, I think is what it would be called, and then you can treat it. Even though at a nice angle it might be water resistant enough, because if it keeps the water. But you know, if you bump into it, then you got problems. Anyway, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna get, I got things on order, and then I'll probably just do like a short video, post a short. Actually, no. When I do shorts on my channel, it confuses my channel, the algorithm. Because I did that, and then I posted a video the shorts were getting lots of views. It was great. And then I posted a normal video and bam, it got nothing. So I'll probably post just a short video, but normal form video of my camp when I get some of these items that I'm waiting for in the mail. And whoa. And then maybe if I get enough courage, I'll go out and camp in this weather. Because as you can imagine, it's hard to leave my nice cozy cabin. Somebody tell me if you can hear me chewing. I don't want to be chewing in your ears. Hey, you made it. There's Jose, a new friend from Tombstone. He's not from Tombstone, but from the Tombstone trip. Awesome reenactor, great outfits, great guy. Well, you missed all my tours, Jose. Oh, good. Thank you, Michelle. Good morning. Dylan says, I agree with you. Which part? You like the chewing. It's like mukbang. Is that a Filipino word? Oh, well, thank you, Dylan. F3J. Is that a Toyota or a camera? Oh, great. I got a dog begging for my bacon. I don't waste bacon on dogs. As I give her bacon. Well, that's everything I had to talk about. So unless you got some questions. This is my old door from how I had the cabin before. And to close it, it was literally plywood cut out of the wall. And then I put 2x4s around it and then hinges. So to close it, I would pull it closed really hard to get it to line up the outside. So then when I put it on, I kept trying to close it really hard, just out of my muscle memory, I guess. But it doesn't do that now because now the opening is less wide and more tall. So it just kind of hits up there. There's a gap. There's a gap up top, which I could close off. But like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm getting so hot that the gap up there is just fine for now. We might be in for a really bad winter. And if so, then I'm really going to put this place to the test. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to it, but like I've said, at other times, I feel bad for all the animals when I think about it. Are you serious? Serious about what? Maybe we've got serious about the animals? Yeah, I feel bad about the animals. We had a really rough winter one year. Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be a rough one, but we don't know. I don't know. We had a really bad winter one year. I mean, you guys all remember it. I think it was Snowpocalypse 2017. And the elk came wandering down, and they could barely walk in the snow. It was so deep. They came down looking for hay, because by my other property there used to be a hay feeding. They feed the elk around here, and they used to have a hay feeding station, and so apparently some of these old elk were old enough to remember it. I don't know when they stopped using it, but apparently they remembered it because they came down. That's my theory. They came down looking for hay. I felt bad. They made that big long trek down to it, only to find nothing. And so yeah, it was a rough winter. And so, like I say, while I would enjoy it, I liked getting snowed in out there, but it's rough on the animals. And I'm just a nice guy like that. Cowboy coffee and bacon over a wood stove. This is America, folks. I don't know. I literally am bewildered that people don't live like this. Like, this used to be my $500 middle finger to society. Now I think I've got close to 2,000 in it. That's not counting the trailer that it's on. And the trailer, I've got like 1,500 into it. But once it's done and it's all nice and pretty, I don't know why anybody doesn't live this way. I mean, I know why. I could do whole videos. I plan to do whole videos on it. But once your eyes are opened, just got a mouthful of coffee grounds. Hopefully they sank by now. So anyway, did I go to the Tombstone Boot Hill in Tombstone? No, I didn't. I have gone in the past. I don't get a lot out of cemeteries. I get it. There's one that I like parking at and making coffee in Oregon, but the one in Boot Hill, Tombstone is such a love-hate for me. Like, I love the area, the history of it, but that town, so much of it's just dumb BS, tourist garbage, and that's how Boot Hill is. They've got, like, here lays Lester Moore, 4 slugs from 44. I don't think it's the real thing. I don't know. I don't remember if that's a real thing or not, but they've got it there, and it's just for tourism. It's not real. It's also common, to put, like, if you go look for Billy the Kid's gravestone, I think there's a place where it's marked, and it's like, this isn't it. Nobody knows where it is, but they just do it for tourism. That kind of BS. I'm really looking forward to my tin coffee pot that I got coming. It's a personal sized, like this is personal sized, where it's just enough coffee to make for one person, like 4 or 5 cups. And it's tin. Whoa, shoot. So I'm gonna have to be more careful cooking with it. But I've learned, so I get up, boil my coffee in the morning by putting it in the stove, like I showed you earlier in this video. I do a balancing act in there so it's over the flames without snuffing them out. And when I screw up, it tips over. But most of the time it works. Anyway, I've learned this tall and narrow, it would take forever to boil. That's why I quit using it, and I switched to this one that's short and squat. And I only fill it up as much as I need, because then it boils fast, because in the morning I want coffee immediately. And so I asked this tinsmith, I asked him if he has any that are wide, more wide than tall, or at least wider than normal. And sure enough, that's what he had. It's wide. I don't remember if it's wider than tall or not, but anyway, it's nice and wide, so I'm pretty excited. Got that, and I'm going to try to up my cooking game a little bit. And so, what was it? I've got a tin thing out there to carry the rendered fat in for making biscuits, and then I wanted butter, and so I ordered from the same guy a little tin box that I could stick a butter in. The butter's just for a treat, but I'll cook with the oil, with the pork fat, because I know somebody gives me pork fat, and I can render it and then cook with it. So I'm excited. Oh yeah, Jose asked if I put a skirt around the trailer. In the past, I have not, but this year I plan to. I've been so broke in the past that there's a lot of things I wanted to do and didn't do. But this year I'm thinking I'll probably buy sheets of OSB and run it around. I might even stuff. So I got my cabin on railroad ties. The railroad ties are going across my trailer. So I'm thinking I might stuff it. Oh, I should have thought of that before. I got some insulation pieces up there I was going to throw away. If they dry out, they're in the rain. If they dry out, I'll stuff those under the edges, and then I'm thinking of putting OSB around the trailer to keep that wind from blowing. Because yeah, enclosing air is a huge one for keeping things warm, as you guys probably know. And so looking forward to experimenting, and it takes 0-degree weather, 5-degree weather to really put things to the test. Dylan says he loads 42 grains as 1860. It flame cuts through the arbor though. Some I load like it's the Apache Wars. Nice. I sold my 1860, so kind of bringing up a sore subject there. For my 1860s impression, I kept my little pocket revolver, and I got my Lyman rifle. However, now that I think about that, I don't know. I might regret that I sold my 1860. It was such a nice revolver. But I like to be minimal. But yeah, 42 grains. Huh. I think I was only doing like 30, 35. I read up on the ballistics. Like there's a point where you get the diminishing returns. Hey, Stanley, welcome. Cheers. Did anybody catch the community reference? See, I just push on the door. I keep forgetting that now I'm latching it. It started raining. And it's getting hot in here. Oh, look what I'm going to eat. So anyway, that's what's going on. I'm going to keep working on my cowboy camp, and also keep working on my trailer, and get back to working on my short film, which I'm really excited about, and planning to shoot next spring, late spring, early summer. Man, only 33 minutes. All right, well, do I do cooking outside during the warm, hot weather? Yes. This year and one other year, one year I did all my cooking right through the summer over a fire. This year I did most of my cooking over the fire. Sometimes during the day, if I just had something like I just want a cup of coffee, it just takes 4 minutes to boil the water, I would use my propane burner. Or if it was hot and I needed to cook the dog food for 5 hours, then I'd use propane, so I wouldn't have to keep feeding the fire. But mostly this year I cooked over a fire outside. It's fun. It's not really necessary because propane is so cheap, but there's just something about cooking over a fire. It's a good thing Like, I was glad that I started doing it again because it's a skill that I like to keep up, and you can lose it, obviously, and it's different from cooking over a wood stove. So I enjoy cooking over a fire because it gets hotter than the propane gets. So you have more options. You can, but the propane's instant. You don't have to stand there with it to keep it going. And also, as I always remind people, I don't have firewood here that produces really good coals. I get a little bit of coals, and this stuff produces coals because it's different firewood, but I wasn't using it for my outdoor fire. When I'm cooking over a fire out here, I just use wood that I scavenge off the property. So it's cottonwood, willow to get it started, cottonwood to get it started, but mostly cottonwood is what I cook over. So, and that doesn't produce coals very well. Very briefly, it creates coals, but there's downsides to everywhere. Food stamp uprisings. Why is it? Is that an effect of the government shutdown, or did they cut funding to it? Food stamps. My state, we're in a socialist state here, Washington. Horrible in a lot of ways. I would qualify for some benefits, but I don't take them up because I don't want to deal with this freaking bureaucracy. Once you deal with the government, you're their subject. Like, just hassle jumping through all the loops. So I stay free, but I don't get free money. Dylan posted a cigarette. No food stamps. Yes, property taxes in Washington are on the higher side. They were at 1%. I think they're still at 1%, which isn't ridiculously high. But I have to pay for my irrigation rights as well. So that's an additional $1,000 every year. Owning irrigation rights doesn't mean that you get water. It means that you get the right to pay for water every year, which is better than nothing, but it sucks because it adds an additional $1,000 a year just to keep this property. If I did nothing else, it's like $200 a month. However, they just raised taxes in our county. They didn't raise taxes, they reassessed property values, and from what I'm hearing, it's pretty bad, and I haven't seen how mine have risen yet. I'm trying to sell this property because I don't need it. I really like it. I like the potential here, but I don't have a desire to do big farming. Well, I call it big. It's not big, but I don't have the desire to use this property for farming, which is what irrigation rights are for. And so I'm selling it. I had 8 horses when I bought this place, and now I've only got 2, and I just don't need it. For $200 a month, it'd be easier just to buy hay and feed my horses. I bought this place also because I wanted to be able to let my horses just be here so I could go on trips. But I won't go off on that rant. That's been oh yeah, I'm not gonna eat. I'll eat it later. That's been an ongoing battle, being able to get out and do trips. Jose says that is, well, I can't say it on YouTube. Yeah, it's un-American. We can say that. Are they making 31 caliber conversion cylinders again? I have not looked. I went through that for a little while because I was going to get a conversion, But I figured out that to convert mine up to 32, you can't shoot, you're not supposed to shoot ballistics that are powerful, that are more powerful. So basically, to put it short, the 32 would have to be loaded to where it's no more effective than the 31 black powder. And so when I figured that out, same with my 1860, same with my Walkers, that they're all, you're not supposed to go over, I think it was 850 feet per second. It says it right there when you're buying it. And when I saw the ballistics, when I looked into it, I'm like, well, I can just shoot a round ball or a conical. Conical, you get better ballistics, and I get the same ballistics. So the reason, so then it would just be the convenience of a cartridge, but you got to buy expensive ones because they got to be the special loaded. So I made the decision not to. Also, you lose the historicity. Now, switching it to 22, that would be tempting. There is a conversion for 22 for that 31. Because then I could use it for a regular gun when I'm not doing my reenacting. That is tempting. But for historical, I just decided to stay with black powder. And for, yeah, and because the ballistics weren't any better. So that's my take on it. I was kind of bummed about that because when I got my 1860, I was looking forward to making it a 357. Yeah, that's super. Real West Magazine. Hey, welcome, man. It's super nice. Yes, I love that gun. That's why I couldn't part with it. So I kept that one. Like I said, for my 1860 impression, that's my gun, and then my Lyman black powder rifle, which is loosely a reproduction of the Hawken. And I tell you what, I'm really tempted to get an 1873. I've been looking at them on Gunbroker. The 1873 is a pretty slick model. Like, my favorite is the 94. It's just a beautiful, beautiful weapon. The design, I think they nailed it right there. And the 30 caliber is an excellent caliber. But for reenacting, that 73 is pretty close. And I'm thinking if I get it, I'm going to do 20-inch 357. If I do the 1873, the Uberti, most likely. But I need to handle one again. Hopefully I can find one in a gun store that I can handle and make sure I like it. It's like I always say, for reenacting, going without something is authentic and inexpensive. So I don't need a rifle for my impression. So there I saved $1,500. I already got the ammo, so that's not saving anything. Just carrying a revolver is fine. And so think about getting a C&R so I can get that shit sent to the house. Oh yeah, you're in California. Washington's headed that direction to California, where they're outlawing things, so we can't buy like we used to. But I've got mostly everything I want. There's nothing that's been outlawed that I need to buy anyway. Oh, a collector's license. But there again, like I say, about dealing with the government, I just can't stand dealing with the government. Even though they made concealed weapons, the sheriffs here are still American on this side of the state, some of them, not all of them, some of them. And they've made it, I think they dropped the prices to get concealed weapons permits. Jose, there's a question for you. Is that what a CR equivalent is? It's nice listening to the rain. You guys probably can't hear it. This is a living. Nice warm cabin with the rain falling outside. Hot coffee in my hand. I should turn off the light and turn on my oil lamp. That would be an improvement. I like living this life. One of the benefits is when it's raining or when it's windy, there's nothing pressing so much that I have to go out in it. Except for in the winter, I got to feed my horses when there's nothing for them to eat. But that's about it. Well, I got to go get firewood, but the firewood can wait until the rain stops. Yes, it's FFL 03, which is for Curio and Relics collector's license. Oh. Speaking of, one of the guys down there, Christopher, he had a couple of original revolvers that were in great shape. They were just beautiful. He brought some original stuff that we could all check out. And he wore his, he has a Lightning, I think it was a Colt Lightning, not a Thunder, that he was carrying. It was so cool. That's another thing. I decided not to buy originals. As much as I love handling original stuff, I used to have an original vest. I think it was early 60s. And I love original stuff, but as a minimalist, I went the direction of deciding no, because I like actually going out and camping, beating up my clothes. So I gave that vest away. It was a beautiful vest. I gave it to a guy who has a collection. Last I talked to him, I think it was this year, he told me he still plans to reproduce that one. So he's going to, like, he analyzes original clothing. He has a huge collection, and then he learns how it was made, and he does, apparently he still does some reproduction stuff. He knows how to sew and all that. But he doesn't post a lot about what he does. But anyway, that's how I feel about it. I'd rather somebody else that likes to collect preserve that vest, and then me, where I've had clothes eaten up by mice, and I was just afraid of that vest by my carelessness, getting mice holes in it, and so I sent it to him. That would have sucked worse than not having it. But same with revolvers. I'd rather be able to, go out and beat them up and not worry about ruining them. But man, it's tempting when I see his original. Since we're talking about Relics and Curio license. All right, well, I should probably shut this off so I can get to eating bacon. Mace Windu. We can collect antiques. Are you in England, Mace Windu? Because I know England can collect antiques. It's not quite as strict as us Americans think England is. Oh, there's a good question. What's the advantage of having a collector's license for 1911s and World War II guns? Which would probably be, is it effective? Is a collector's license effective for World War I? And is it collective for World War II? If anyone knows. Have you looked into it, Jose? In Washington, it still doesn't matter. We can have it. I think all that's been outlawed here is high capacity stuff. You sure wouldn't want to be an American, not in Washington. They got to suppress that. Well, the coffee grounds aren't horrible. but can't take that last swig. I always cherish that last one. We can as well, Jose says, but with that license I can get them shipped to my door. Oh, gotcha. So it's kind of like you're a collector dealer or just a buyer? Pre-1900s. Can you also sell, Jose, or it's just for buying? That's what some guys do. They just get a FFL license and they buy for friends. You can do that here. You find some guy that owns a FFL license and you pay him 25 bucks, which is the same price as a shop. If you have a shop, order it for you. But I can sell some of my guns. Huh. My fire is dwindling. But if I were to close the door, this bed of coals, I could probably shut the fire down, close the vent, close the door, close the front door, especially once I get it done remodeled where I insulate the roof with a foot insulation. Then I could probably keep this place hot for a long time just with a bed of coals. That's what I'm looking forward to experimenting on. Oh, interesting. In California, there, Northern California, most of the shops are an hour and a half away. That's funny because around here, we're never farther than 30 minutes from a gun store. Jose already had the right to do all that with antiques and private sales of non-machine guns. Oh. So I traveled through Nevada for my birthday. Nevada is such an amazing place. I think 80% of it is public land. And yet, they say Wyoming has the lowest population per ratio. But that's probably because of Reno and Las Vegas. But once you leave those places, I wonder, actually, if you were to remove the population of Las Vegas and Reno, I wonder if the per capita or whatever it would be called population would be less than Wyoming. That's something to look up later. Because, like I say, with 80% public land, you can just go out there and be in the middle of nowhere. And land is cheap. There's areas where you can buy like 20 acres for 10,000 bucks, which you used to be able to do around here. That's the kind of land my other property is. But there's counties in Nevada where they don't care what you do. You can build whatever you want. You don't have to run it through the government. And that's not the case here in my county. That's why I don't have an Old West saloon built and why I'm living on a trailer. So yeah, Nevada's really tempting. But then the other day I remembered, oh yeah, didn't John Wayne go to Nevada to film a movie and everybody got cancer? Well, it wasn't quite that simple. He actually was in Utah to film the movie, but it was really close to where the previous year they had done a bunch of nuclear tests, and it was close enough. It was close enough that the wind was blowing the soil over to where they were shooting the movie. And they were there for 13 weeks. And then to make it worse, the producer shipped a bunch of that dirt back to LA for the studio so they would have the same dirt. I don't know why. Well, probably to build the set. And they needed the soil. Anyway, sad. But it made me look into Nevada thinking, all right, how much of this state is radioactive? And yeah, that was the Genghis Khan movie, which is, if it wasn't so tragic and sad, it's kind of hilarious. The 50s, 60s were a funny time for movies, especially Westerns, where you get white guys playing Indians and all that. But anyway, it made me think I should probably look into how radioactive the state is because I like hanging out in the hot springs and, like I say, thinking about buying land out there, building an old west town. And I don't know. I don't know. I like to just avoid any possibility of that. I think it would be fine. I think it would be safe, especially if you're careful where you go. But you never know how much they're hiding, you know. The government, there's a lot of people that have sued. There's a lot of lawsuits that were done against the government because of the cancer that they've caused. And the government denies all of it. They won't accept responsibility for anything. So that means how much of this information is accurate that I'm looking up. But you do get people that are not related to the government and who worked in that. And like on Reddit, there are some guys who comment and explain how radioactivity works. Like the Chernobyl thing, that comes up a lot. Why is Chernobyl still radioactive and these nuclear sites are not? And they say because, for one, it takes such a minimal amount of plutonium or whatever it was, such a minimal amount of radioactive material to create a nuclear bomb. And once it's detonated, the half-life breaks it down pretty quickly. As in, like, if I remember right, the first 6 months it's broke down to 50%. And then after that, it breaks down pretty quickly. So they haven't done tests, I think, since the 70s. But they did underground tests. They started moving them underground when they started to realize that it was not healthy to do all this above ground stuff. So that makes me wonder, because Nevada is a unique place. It's called Basin because all the rivers in Nevada, not talking about the Grand Canyon if it hits the Nevada border, but all the rivers in Nevada, they all flow and terminate in the state. They're not like a normal state. Like, I think Montana is where the Missouri originates, the headwaters of the Yellowstone and the Missouri, and they make it all the way to the Gulf. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Like, that's normal. Like, we've got rivers all over here in Washington, and they all feed into the Columbia and border Oregon and Washington and head to the ocean. But Nevada's unique in that, like I say, it's a basin. So all the rivers just dissipate into the ground. So it's weird that way. But it makes me wonder, okay, if they're detonating underground and it gets into the aquifers, and then the aquifers get pushed up into springs, and then get back into the groundwater, am I sitting in radioactive water at a hot spring? I don't know. That's where I'd rather just avoid it. Oh yeah, which leads me into the discussion of my trip into civilization. That's right, I even titled this video about my trip into civilization. Oh yeah, all right. Mesa Windu said Reno and Vegas together about 1 million people. Yeah, okay. And Wyoming, they have no city that's that big. So, so it would be really interesting to see, even if you took out Vegas alone, but then take out Vegas and Reno, and then see how the population compares to Wyoming. It's funny to go to these places that, I mean, Washington doesn't have a huge city, but we've got Seattle, and that whole county is pretty well populated, heavily populated. And then the next biggest is Spokane, which is across the state, and it's a lot smaller. I don't remember how big. And then after that, it would be the Tri-Cities, which is 3 cities, and then after that, I think would be Yakima, my town. So anyway, whatever that's worth. Jose is like a continuing resolution. Huh? I have no idea what that comment meant. Please explain. So anyway, all right. As you all know, I have left society. And so it's frustrating when I went on a trip to Tombstone, Arizona, and my hands were really dirty because the creek was dirty, and so I wasn't bathing as much as I normally would because the freaking creek was dirty. So I thought, well, I'll go to the YMCA. We have this awesome aquatics YMCA with hot tubs, sauna, and showers. And so sometimes I haven't done it in a while, but I'll pay $12 and go there and hang out. I like hot tubs and saunas. It's fun. And but because it was kind of chaos packing up and getting ready to go, I didn't make it in there, and I wanted to get an early start, so I didn't take an hour or two to go and bathe and soak for a long time and get all the dirt off of me. So instead, I got to Jackpot, Nevada. It's right on the border of Idaho and Nevada, and I checked hotel prices, and you can get a hotel there for $50. And I thought, hey, what the heck? I'm driving in my car. I'm gonna have to pay $10 to go to a YMCA or a gym somewhere anyway. Why don't I just pay for a hotel? And then I'd have to also pay $15 for breakfast. So there's $25 that I'd have to spend anyway that I can get from the hotel with the breakfast and the shower. So I got a hotel. And it was cool. The guy that was working there was awesome. There was another guy who, I think he gets a free room there. I shouldn't say this. There was another guy who's there a lot. He's an Idaho resident, but he hangs out there. He's really outgoing, really friendly. A Marine, but well past retirement, or past retirement. Anyway, so that was fun. They were fun guys, but my adventure into civilization, so I call that civilization instead of just camping out and bathing in a hot spring. Okay, the water trickled out, so it took like forever to fill the bathtub. And the water was kind of hot, where if it had been coming out fast enough, it would have made the tub hot. But it came out so slow and filled up so slow that by the time it filled up, the water had cooled off. So I'm sitting there in the bathtub, modern conveniences, and it doesn't even work. It did the trick. I got my hands clean, and I got my face clean. So it did the trick, but I was shivering the whole time. And then by the time I turned on the shower, the pressure wasn't very much better. You know, sometimes a shower head will make it better pressure. But it wasn't hot enough. So, all right, whatever. Did the trick. Then what else was there? Then the bed was actually kind of comfortable. The heater worked. I unplugged the microwave so I didn't have to look at the light. But then in the morning, it took forever to boil my water in the microwave. Like even when I had a house, I didn't have a microwave. But this last Christmas, I was using a microwave to boil my water when I went and visited my brother and his wife for Christmas. And it was boiling like that. So for a guy who like spends 15, 20 minutes trying to get a fire going and my water boiling, I was blown away. Like in a minute and a half, I was having hot water, boiling water. Well, I didn't think about the elevation differences, so this is just more interesting than a complaint. It took a lot longer than I expected in the microwaves. I also stop at gas stations and use the microwaves to make my coffee. I got to stop and go in and with my mug full of water, and that's all I need, and then I boil it. So it was interesting. Finally figured out, oh, it's because of the elevation. Because everything out there, I'm at 1,600 feet right here. Everything over there is like 5,000 feet. So that was interesting. So in the morning, boiled my coffee. Then I went down to have breakfast. Breakfast didn't start till 7, but I had a good sleep. Slept till like 6, 6:30. Fed the dogs. I thought, what the heck, I'll wait around for breakfast. And that was fun. There was friendly people in there. We all talked because I'm pretty outgoing with strangers. And so, but I was there for waffles. I wanted to cook two waffles and get out of there, get on the road. But there was this guy, the freaking waffle maker. All the waffles were sticking. Like this one guy, he didn't use the spray thing, so it was even worse. So it took him like 15 minutes. First off, I waiting for his to get done. And then he opened it up and he's just there picking. You couldn't do it fast. I was annoyed watching him, but then I realized when I had to deal with it, oh yeah, you can't do this fast. You know, you just got those plastic forks. So he's trying to peel off these pieces of waffle. And then when he finally gets it cleaned off, well, of course, then he has to cook another waffle. So then he had to scrape that off again. So he walked away with this plate full of waffle pieces, which tastes the same. And God bless him for not cooking another one and needing it to be a complete waffle. So then it was my turn. I sprayed it. I thought I sprayed it adequately, but it still stuck. So I had to piece mine out. And I put another one in there. Sprayed the heck out of it that time. Still stuck. I don't know why. But anyway, I thought I had more complaints about things not working. Maybe it was just the waffle maker and the water. Yeah, I thought I had more about complaining about how we take up all these resources to use the land to create modern society, and then it doesn't even work. That's the gist of it, but like I said, I thought I had a better argument for it, but that was kind of weak. Hey, at least I'm honest. Mark Hilton retracted a message, but welcome anyway. Let the authorities know if you find any dinosaur fossils. Why? That guy on Joe Rogan, the guy from Alaska who says he has a ton of mastodon or whatever they're called, bones, like it was a grave site for him. He said that a tusk is worth $500,000. I don't know if there's a market for them, but that's how he made it sound. Made it sound like if you can get a woolly mammoth tusk, that you can go and sell it for $500,000. He said that's the market rate for them. Because what he was trying to do was get divers to go into the river over somewhere around New York, I think it was, to collect all the bones that this museum had thrown into the river because they were done with them. They didn't want to use them, so they just threw them in the river. Dumb. But anyway, he wanted to create this like a gold rush of divers jumping in there and getting them. So I don't know how true that is, but apparently some people did go in and look for them and retrieved some. But I didn't follow it really closely. Wow, the rain's really falling now. We should go check on my clothes and my camp. Let's go see how it's holding up. Hey, welcome, Justin. Jose's here too. The rain's falling hard. Of course, it always sounds like that when it's falling on the roof, and then you go outside and it's just a light mist. But I think this is actually, I think it's actually a legit rain. We're gonna go find out. We'll see if it ruins my phone. Because, oh yeah, this is a good rain. Also, look at how beautiful these colors are. Oh, well, they're not showing up. They're looking more green in the camera. Yeah, there it goes. I love fall. Just go outside and be happy, particularly when the sun's shining on it and everything's glowing like it's on fire. So I left my clothes and blankets in here because I wanted to see how well it does in the rain. Pretty high stakes because this is expensive stuff. I think if that wool gets damp and then molds, it's toast for me. But anyway, I wanted to see how it holds up in the rain. Like, could I be sleeping in there and stay dry? I have camped in the rain before, but it's always good to know. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if this tarp was 2 feet bigger, you know, a foot longer on each side, just so that I could be under it and not have to worry. And this setup that I did is the lean-to setup. I don't normally do it that way because of wind, but I really want to put triangles on each side to make it enclosed. The problem is the history of it. I don't know that those were a thing. But anyway, if you can't tell, I'm not using the tripod. Usually I go with a string over the tripod and stake it down out here, and I utilize this tripod for cooking and for holding my fence up, my tent up. Instead, I went with posts on each end. So this is kind of a new setup for me. I don't utilize it. But I really need to get those triangles. I've got the canvas for it. I just got to find somebody that would do it. So anyway, looks like it's staying dry. You can see where I pushed the canvas in because it did get a little bit of water. Also, it helps when it's not windy and rainy. Like yesterday we had a breeze, so it did get water up into here, just light, like very light. I'm pretty sure it evaporated, but that's why I folded it in. That tarp is longer than me, so I could lay in there and stay dry, it looks like. But like I said, I'd rather have the assurance of sides or a little wider. Anyway, that's why whoop. Did I just turn something on? All right, let's get back in where it's dry. But anyway, that's the kind of ongoing experiments that really helps, so that when you do go out and camp, it's better to learn that stuff just by going out in the rain than to have to go out camping and go out and learn it in the field. Yeah, Dylan, I saw your comment about moldy wool. Yes, I hate moldy wool. That's why people in the South and on the East Coast, they just think of that as normal. But I'm highly allergic to it. Not highly, no, I take that back. It affects me. And so, like, I bought a sack coat from somebody. It was a beautiful sack coat. It really sucked, unfortunately, because it had a mold smell to it. And he just thought that was normal, so he didn't tell me. Because, well, why? I mean, that's just normal. But when I got it, made my tongue swell up, and I couldn't even be in the same room as it. And it sucked because it was such a nice coat. So, anyway, something to keep aware if you're buying something from somebody on the East Coast. Oiled canvas can get moldy too, yes. That's why I love living in this arid climate, because even though all that stuff's getting wet, not all of it, the tarp is getting wet, it won't take much for it to dry out, as long as I don't fold it up and put it away, obviously. And so it's pretty easy, as long as a person is aware, then there's not a big risk of getting mold in a climate like this. Now, Tombstone, I was blown away because even though it's desert, it's more desert than here. There was a ton of what do you call it? Dew in the morning down there. I was surprised. However, being a desert, there again, everything would dry out within a few hours. So as long as you leave it out, but I was being careful to leave everything out in the sun enough to dry it off. But yeah, dew. Hats can get moldy. Yeah, don't like it. You at work, Justin? I'm assuming. I think you're back to Hopefully all the people, all the cockroaches have run back to their basements until nighttime. La cucarachas. Well, this is a long video. Oh, Will, we were down there this past weekend. So, whatever, I guess they call that fall down there. I don't know if the desert doesn't technically have winter. Not down there. No, they have winter. It gets cold. So, yeah, good question. I wonder if that's all year round or if it was more like these transition months, fall and spring, that they get due. Good question. Everything regional. Well, I'm really looking forward to my bacon. But I stopped eating it because I was afraid you guys could hear me chewing, which Jose said he likes it, but I think he's making that up. So I'm looking forward to that. So anyway, I just got kicked off. Anybody experience that? I don't know if you guys could still hear me, but I got kicked off. It closed the app, and I don't know why I couldn't see it. It posted, it gave me a pop-up, presumably to explain what happened, but I didn't see it. But anyway, it's time to end this anyways. If anybody's even there, glad you all made it. Oh, it shuttered. Oh, okay. Thanks. 38 Super. 38 Super, are you responding to the comment about conversion cylinders? I'm assuming. Mark Helton, that just came through. That's what she said. What up, K-Dog? Oh, this is a glorious day. I do have to go cut some firewood, so when the rain lightens up a little bit, I'll go cut some more firewood. Because I actually used it all up, and then assuming I would go cut some more, I didn't know it was going to rain. But otherwise, I'm just going to hang out and drink coffee, eat bacon. Maybe I'll even pop on a movie. Thanks for joining me, folks. Good times ahead. Good times are here. Hope you're enjoying nature in some way. Learning the learning the minute variances of your own region, and what makes it tick, the rhythms of nature. So remember, folks, life's a lot more fun over on the wild side.